obviously going to let Sudo take the lead. I'm mainly here to read donations. Speaking of donations, we have $5 from Anonymous who says, I love the cause, I love the Pokemon speedruns community, but most of all, I love Sudo.
Aww.
Thank you, Anonymous, for the $5, and we have reached $300 already today.
Well, that's amazing, especially day one. So thank you to everyone donating. We're going to be in here for kind of a long run. This is going to take about 2 hours. But really quick before I start, there's just one thing I'm going to explain here. I'm going to actually delete any save data I have on here. This is because there's a lot of glitches in Gen 1 Pokemon especially. And if anyone hasn't heard of this, you can beat Pokemon Yellow in under a minute. Because you can carry over glitches from a previous save file. So you can basically play like multiple hours setting up a really complicated glitch, create a new game, and then you'll instantly be warped to the Hall of Fame. So a countermeasure for this category, any percent glitchless, we have to delete our save data. I'm going to be doing 3 other things. I'm going to open up the options. I'm going to set text speed to fast and animations off. Both those are self-explanatory. We want to go fast. That wastes time. This last one here, there's this thing called battle style, and we're going to pick set. All this does is stop asking us, like, do you want to swap Pokemon every time we defeat a Pokemon? And without further ado, I'm ready whenever you are. So I can count down if you're ready.
All right, so we are ready to go now. We got, yep, everything is good. Looking good, super good. We got this.
As a heads up, there are 3 donations coming in now. Name the main character Gary, and then the rival.
Okay, so Gary for the main character, Ash for the rival. Okay, cool. And then the Nidoran incentive for anyone who's looking for that one is going to be about 7 minutes from when we start. All right.
Oh, we got another donation.
Oh no.
We're getting a lot of them in here. I will read this one off here. So we have $10 from Anonymous who says, "Damn, forgot to put the name." And that's
who
the
was
name.
it from? The last one who forgot to put their name.
Says,
March!
Oh, it was March? Okay.
Hey, March. Marchify is also a Pokemon Yellow speedrunner, so please,
cool.
if you like this run, consider looking at some other community members like March.
Name he was referencing was Mankey S for the rival
Ooh.
Pokemon Yellow. So that has $10 towards it. We'll see if Ash can beat that.
Okay, cool. And those donation incentives are going to end basically as soon as I hit new games.
Yeah, like now. So I'll do one final refresh before we begin the run, and if it's not there, it's not there.
Okay.
I will let Ash slide for main character if nothing is in for that, though. Or, sorry, Gary.
Okay, cool. So, main character right now is Gary, and
One final refresh.
sounds good. Take your time, man.
Yep, Mankey S and Gary.
Okay, so Gary for main character, Mankey S for rival.
Yes.
Awesome, cool. So let's get this run started in 3, 2, 1, go! Woo! Okay. So right off the bat here, this is Pokemon. It takes place years after Pokemon Puzzle League took over the world. So now people aren't going to play puzzles anymore. They're going to actually use their Pokemon to fight. So this is kind of the sequel to Pokemon Puzzle League for everyone who doesn't know. And I believe it's Gary, correct?
You're typing in Gray, not Gary.
Gary. Oh, whoops. Gary.
I got you.
And it's 1 R, right? I can't spell.
Yes, I think
Okay.
so.
Woo! Okay, well that's Gary for now. So we're gonna be Gary, and then thanks to Marchify, we're going to name the main character here, main rival, Mankey. And I will try to make this work. Whoops. Oh, cool. Fits perfectly. Mankey, capital S.
Yes.
And this is a shout out to probably my biggest friend in PSR, the runner that kind of we started at the same time. His name's Juan Lee Ways. He's 4th in Pokemon Yellow. He's a really good runner, and he has an emote called Mankey S, and it's a great spammable emote. So quick shout out to him and Marchify for that. So right off the bat here, a lot's actually happening. You would think that since this is a tutorial that I would basically have nothing to explain for a while, but Pokemon Yellow and Gen 1 Pokemon in particular has a lot of basically tech to going faster. So much of this game is text and movement and menus. I'm going to be explaining a lot of it as I go. But the first thing I'm just going to explain really quick here is, if you watch me, I'm literally mashing with both A and B. That's because this game, since it's really old, has what we call consecutive input lag. And really all that means is if you mash A super fast, the game gets confused and thinks you're holding the button. So you can be mashing super fast and you'll be going slower. So in this game, you have to mash both A and B, and that will kind of prevent the game from thinking you're holding the same button. So there's this kind of rhythm to it, but it's super nice too, because if you watch speedrunners try to mash text a lot in the game, mashing one button can be super tiring. So it's really nice to have a kind of cap on how fast we can do it. And yeah, if you have a donation, read them out.
I was about to say, well, we have $5 from Simply Cosmo. He says, SudoTrainer is the best. Such a caring and genuine guy. Mean big, my friends. And he also put that $5 towards the rival name being John Lee, just after the cutoff, but unfortunately it would not have been enough regardless, so...
Well, fortunately for him...
Yeah, fortunately for him.
Manky-S kind of refers to that too, so awesome!
That's cool.
Everyone's happy. Thank you, Simply.
We have $15 from I Am Zamber, who says, Sudo, is this Moonip?
This will probably not be Moonip. I really hope I can show it off. Regardless, it's going to be much better than the last time I ran this game at Midwest Speedfest event. So I ran this at their previous event, and let's just say it was less than optimal, and I didn't get world record by far. There's a lot of things that I'm hoping are going to go better, and one of them's Moonip. And if I get that, I'm probably going to freak out, break the game controller, and just that's going to be it. So maybe you should hope I'm going to miss it then? I don't know. Anyways, we actually won the most important fight in this game right now. So winning that first battle really matters. In this game, beating your rival will kind of change the final Pokemon he's going to have, because he starts out with an Eevee. And Eevee has 3 final evolutions, and how many times you beat him determines what Pokemon he has. And it's so weird. Like, we're not going to use Pikachu. The fact that I, even got XP with Pikachu doesn't matter. But winning that fight matters because I'm going to want to have his final Pokemon be a Jolteon. Long story short, if he had a Vaporeon, we would have to kind of reroute some things that are really unoptimal just because of he's going to have a different Pokemon team. So winning that first fight matters, and now we're going to be able to just kind of continue on. We're at the beginning of this game, and right now it's going to look just exactly like a casual playthrough. Like, it probably looks like I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time playing this game. But it's going to pick up very fast here. We have to get through the tutorial like every single game. Right now we're kind of picking up this parcel to deliver to Oak. And unlike other Pokemon games, I've had people ask this quite often. After you deliver this parcel, you think I'd get Pokeballs, something we use to catch Pokemon. And later on, I'm going to catch a Pidgey. And speaking of which, we find a Pidgey. So often, someone who doesn't really know the run will come in and be like, why didn't you catch the Pidgey? I'm like, I would love to. I don't have Pokeballs yet. We have to buy our own. We have to work really hard in Yellow. All the, millennials with their Pokemon, they get everything handed to them, but we have to work really hard.
You literally do work for Oak. He doesn't even pay you, SMH.
I know, and okay, we talked to him from behind. Basically, what's happening now is the rival's about to enter, and watch how slow he moves. It's very slow. It's like half of our speed. So we actually walk behind Oak and talk to him, so the rival takes less steps. This is actually faster than if we just walked and talked in front of Oak, just because Manky-S is really slow. So now we're kind of past the tutorial point. I'm gonna go back to that town, we're gonna buy a couple items, and then I'm gonna be doing our first RNG manip of the game. So I'm just gonna explain a little bit about RNG manip, because it's gonna go really fast. We're gonna do one RNG manip into next, and some people kind of think this is a glitch. And what RNG manipulation is we're going to kind of do this thing where we're going to I'm going to save on a tile, I'm going to reset, which seems very unoptimal. I'm trying to beat this game quickly, but what that's going to allow me to do is I'm going to basically, I know exactly where a perfect Nidoran is going to appear, and using RNG manipulation, I can make sure I'm there at the perfect time. And the reason this isn't a glitch is technically you're playing the game as intended. There's nothing wrong with turning off the game and turning it back on. The fact that we know the outcome doesn't change the game. We're not glitching the game to have a Nidoran with like level 100 with perfect stats. We just know the exact moment in time we're going to get the Pokemon we want. So I'm going to be buying a lot of stuff here. I went far beyond what I was supposed to. So I bought 6 Pokeballs and 6 potions. And the reason why is because I don't trust myself. If any speedrunner ever trusts themselves, don't trust them, okay?
Can confirm.
So, an optimal way and what I would normally do, like, I can do it 90+% of the time. You only need 2 Pokeballs. We're gonna catch 2 Pokemon in this run, and we're gonna get 2 more later on. But I need to buy extras because if I would miss this, we would waste so much time. I don't even want to think about it. So this is what I'm coming up to. We're gonna get a male Nidoran, and this is gonna be our center Pokemon. So if we want to kind of start cutting off the Nidoran donation incentive, now's a pretty good time.
Sure, I will refresh and cut it off.
So I'm saving, and I'm hard resetting the console. Soft resetting won't do this. And then I'm going to be quiet just for a moment to try to get this manip. It's near frame perfect. It's basically 2 frame perfect tricks. Whoops. I dropped an input. I've never done that before, actually. Anyways, it's 2 frame perfect tricks kind of back to back. I have to clear a text box within 2 frames, and then I need to do a very complex thing called reapply in a very small window. Which is like 3 frames, I think. So let's see if I can get this YOLO ball. So that's the Nidoran we want. Oh, I missed it. But anyways, that part's really hard. I got it twice in a row perfectly on practice. But basically right now we're just going to pretend we don't know how Pokemon works, and we're just going to toss balls. So this Nidoran's 33% to get caught without manip. So if you ever miss it, the best strat is just to throw your balls and hope that it goes in eventually, because hurting this Nidoran and having to use extra potions is actually worse. So that's why I bought 6 Pokeballs, because I can basically throw 5 at these. So this is really unlucky. We hit like 15% chance so far. Basically, getting in 4 balls is like 80%, and we got so unlucky we have to redo that. So the odds of that are probably like 85% to get caught in 5 balls, and now I just look like a fool. But you know what? That just means I get to prove myself that I can do this. But remember, I don't trust myself, so I'm in an internal struggle right now, and let's just hope for the best. So I basically have to clear this frame perfectly. Which is, that part's actually easy. What I messed up is that, which is hard because kind of every TV and I kind of have a sound delay, probably. Great, first ball this time, awesome. That wasn't manipped, I just got lucky, but you know what, I'll take credit for it.
Nidoran wouldn't go in a Pokeball earlier, Midwest Speedfest canceled.
Exactly.
Again.
So, what's the Nidoran name?
Oh, Newcastle.
Newcastle?
With $25. Capital N, the rest is lowercase.
Okay, Newcastle.
As you're putting that in, we have a $5 donation from the Flying Marlin, who says, "This donation was supposed to go through 10 minutes ago, but PayPal is being a real Gary Oak right now. This retroactively goes toward naming the main character Gary, and you did indeed spell that correctly."
Nice. Okay, so basically at this point, Pikachu is sadly not that good anymore. If you've ever tried to play Yellow, Pikachu's an awesome Pokemon, right? He's really cute. But in battles, he's not the best. So we're going to swap the Nidoran we worked really hard to get. And I just realized I didn't do something. So let's hope for the best. There's a very small chance I got my Manip will fail. It's called IGT. And it happened at the last marathon event, and I also forgot to check. If it happens, it's not the end of the world. I would have to reset and catch another Nidoran. Wow. And I already had a 5% chance of tackle miss. this is already going great. But this is Pokemon, so a lot's gonna happen. But I've done many races with this game. I've gone through so much stuff that I'm confident that we'll finish a round estimate, even if everything went horribly.
This is why I love runs of this game.
So much can happen, and I think of like any sub 2 runners have messed up more than anyone else. I've taught 1 second here, I have to check my stats. We're good. All right, I didn't get IGT'd. So there was a 15% chance I would actually get a bad Nidoran. We manipped it to have really good stats, but just with games like this, you can't make that perfect. Having a perfect manip just doesn't happen. So we need to kind of check our stats to make sure that I'm not going to get halfway through this game and we have the wrong Nidoran. So my health is really low, but don't worry. A big part of this game is knowledge. A tackle from this Caterpie would, at critical, do 5 damage. Unless I got really unlucky. There's basically a really low chance that he would do 6 damage. This game has really odd rounding. So we'll talk about it if it happens, but there's high rolls, low rolls, crits, Gen 1 misses. There's a lot that can happen in this game. And for most of it, it's not really going to matter. I'll kind of point them out as they go. But we're kind of in the main parts of the game where we're going to be doing just a lot of fights. We're going to be trying to level up Nidoran. So I'm fighting a lot of optional trainers here, and that's because the first gym leader is Brock. He is Rock-type Pokemon. So we have a Pikachu. He's not going to do nothing there. And right now, let's kind of take a moment to look at our Nidoran's moves. So we have 2 normal-type moves in Leer. If we went to try to fight Brock right now, I would definitely get overestimated. So we're going to kind of grind up our Nidoran because at level 12, he's going to learn a move called Double Kick. Double Kick is really key just to beat Brock, and we use it a lot in the run, actually. But actually, in the first game, Red and Blue, or Green in Japan, Nidoran didn't learn Double Kick. It was added for Pokemon Yellow, and the reason that it was added was because there's not a lot of options to beat Brock. So a lot of people kind of ask why we use Nidoran. Well, the very first option is we need a Pokemon that can actually beat Brock quickly. And our options for that are as follows. We could catch a Caterpie or a Metapod, level it up to get, Butterfree, and it could learn Confusion. That'd be super slow and definitely not worth it, actually, because we just take so long leveling up a Pokemon. And then the one that everyone always wonders why we don't use Mankey? Mankey is a fighting-type Pokemon, and he starts with a move called Low Kick. Well, it turns out Mankey's slower than Nidoran to beat Brock. A lot of people just... Nidoran is such a good Pokemon, and I'm going to do my second RNG manip of the run. I'm not too worried about this one. I have so many Pokeballs, so I'll probably talk through it. Just Mankey takes so much experience to level up that he would basically just die to Brock and Geodude if you just tried to go in there without leveling him up. So he just takes too much experience to live, and it'd be too slow. And Nidoran, since it learns Double Kick, it levels up quickly, and a lot of other reasons I'll mention later on in the run. He's just the better Pokemon to run this game with. So I did another RNG manip to get Pidgey here. So let's redeem myself. Okay, if I get this, I'm really cool. If I'm not, whatever. I'm not cool,
Whatever.
Okay. Aww.
You're almost really cool.
And
According to these donations, yes you are.
The reason that would have been really cool is having a name on the Nidoran. Normally we nickname it A because it's a shorter name. It's going to appear a lot. Okay, that would have been really bad if that died. But whatever, we're gonna throw the ball, it's gonna go in this time. But having a longer name on the Nidoran makes the manip significantly harder. Instead of having 3 frames to toss that ball, I would have only had 2 frames. And I accidentally tried to nickname this Pidgey. Whoops! Anyways, we don't need to nickname any other Pokemon besides our Nidoran here. So, for the rest of this run, we're going to be playing kind of super safe, and I know quite a bit of the ranges in this game. So Pokemon is kind of different from some other RPGs, where we're going to definitely we're going to kind of know roughly what damage we're going to do, but I'm never going to know 100%. Every single move in this game has kind of this roll it does of damage, so I can know the minimum and I can know the maximum the damage can do, but I'll never know for sure. And that's going to really matter, especially for this marathon when we're trying to go super fast, but then also not die. We're also going to be saving a lot. In a real PB attempt or anything, you would just go as fast as possible. You wouldn't care about a lot of the odds. You just kind of do your calculated risks, and you kind of rarely heal, and you just kind of go for a lot of things. But we're going to be saving because it's Pokemon, and later on in this run, if you want to stick around for an hour and a half, I definitely recommend it, because Pokemon Yellow, to this day, is one of the worst games in the late game for speedrunning. A lot can go wrong. There's certain fights where I just have like 18% chance to die, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's so many runs that like are world record pace, and they get to the final like last few fights, and they miss Blizzard and die. And it's just such a heartbreaking but really interesting thing to do when you're running this game, because just so much can go wrong. So this fight is kind of annoying when you're speedrunning, because at this point in the game, he has two Pokemon we've never seen before, and they're actually both really strong. He has a Diglett, and then he's going to have a Sandshrew. I'm just doing the safe strat, which we wouldn't really do in a PB attempt. I just made sure I was going to heal in this fight. So I'm not really scared. I know basically the exact damage he can do. So if he crit, he'd do 8 or 9 damage to me, so I have to heal there. So it makes the game easier kind of when you're running a marathon and you know you can't die, so you just have to play safe. Whereas if I was going for a PB attempt, a lot of what I'd be doing is I'd be looking at my time, wondering, can I risk the 12% chance to die here? Or later on in the game, it's like, this run is so good, do I pick up an extra elixir or healing item to make sure I finish? It's just, Pokemon is really interesting to speedrun compared to some non-RNG focused games, because it's a mixture of skill and RNG. That a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's just luck then, right? Like, even the top runners, they probably just get lucky. No. There's a lot of skill and knowledge that comes in this game that you can tell with the top runners. So I toss my Pokeballs there. I don't need them. And if I forget that they're there, in a fight, I might toss a Pokeball instead of healing myself, and I would die. So instead of trying to be a thief and steal Pokemon, we're going to be polite, drop our Pokeballs right in front of the gym leader here, and then beat up his Pokemon.
The moral of the story is don't be Team Rocket.
Yeah, like Team Rocket, you'll see, they're really not that cool. They die very quickly, so... we'll have an option to join them, and we'll see. I don't know. I've always tried to join, but they don't want me. So, okay, that's good. This fight can waste a lot of time, but we got really lucky. So the first move he uses Bind. If anyone played later Pokemon games, but not like the old games, you'll wonder, like, why is Bind such a big deal? Bind in moves that trap you in this game keep lasting and prevent you from attacking. So if he binded me, I would just have to sit there for like 2 to 5 turns without being able to do anything. So the fact that that missed was really good, because now I can just kill him. And then his second move was Bide, which basically he'll sit there for also 2 to 3 turns, and he will then, after I attack him, deal double the damage I deal back to him. So, long story short, I kind of know exactly how much Bide would do to me, and we can kind of play around that. So, one gym leader down. I'm going to guess we're probably 20 minutes in or something like that. And we have to kill 8 gym leaders and beat the Elite Four. And you're probably wondering I'm crazy for setting my estimate for what I did. This game's going to start picking up really fast, especially around this point. You're going to kind of notice another reason why Nidorann's so good here is he just levels up fast, like I said before, but you haven't really seen that yet. So this is like about the same level of what Brock's Pokemon was. So let me just use Horn Attack here and watch how much damage it does. It's like over half. So I'm able to just, I'm gonna be safe here really quick. I have to use Tackle quite a few times in this route, and that was a pretty good range. That was about a 50-50 shot to kill there. So I took it because we have to kind of save some Horn Attacks. I'll mention a few stuff about ranges, Horn Attacks, and stuff. It really doesn't matter too much, but Double Kick might kill? No, I should have tackled. Whatever. That's totally fine. I thought this was a very different point in the game. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, so we're gonna kill this Weedle here, and we're gonna level up. And basically, there's a kind of natural glitch in this game called badge boosting. And it kind of works out great that Brock's the first gym leader, because when you beat Brock, he gives you the Boulder Badge. And the Boulder Badge has a hidden property that he kind of explains that not a lot of people know. So there's called badge boosts in this game. So when you beat Brock, your attack stat for all your Pokemon is basically improved by 12.5%. And that's a lot, right? So now all of our Pokemon are just stronger by having that. I'm going to save before this guy because he can go a little bad. But the game was kind of programmed badly. So when I got String Shot that first turn, the reason why I tackled and the reason why it died is when my speed got lowered, this game recalculates all my badge boosts. So it already gave me 12.5% before. And then, when I got my speed lowered, it basically calculated all my other stats again and reapplied the badge boost. So that's going to be really relevant in this game, and we basically plan on that happening later on in the run. So I'm still short one Horn Attack, but it's not a big deal. So, but the reason that level ups kind of matter is level ups kind of cancel all badge boosts. At level up, the game properly calculates all your stats because it's like, hey, you got some new stats, let me recalculate. But it gets rid of all the badge boosts. So in a normal RPG, if you kill extra like enemies or something, get some more experience, it's not the end of the world, right? In Pokemon, if I get extra experience I'm not planning, I could easily die. And that's just strange, right? Like, you should just get more experience. You'll be stronger.
You get weaker by getting stronger.
Yeah, basically, I could, like, lose 25% of my attack just by leveling up at the wrong time. So our XP is really calculated, and it's not going to matter too much. So another reason that Nidorann's super good is Nidoran evolves to Nidorino at level 16. And you'll notice here we're at 15. After this next Pokemon, we're going to hit 16, and then we're going to get Nidorino, which is Tier 2 evolution. It's at level 16. Why is that so good? It's really not, right? Nidorino's just more powerful. It's nice that it evolves this soon. But, I won't spoil too much, but let's just say we're not going to see too much of Nidorino. Nidorino's not that good, so I'm just going to avoid him as much as I can. So our Nidoran is kind of evolving here. I'm going to put down this controller, because if any child has ever hit B during this moment, you've probably broken your own heart. You can cancel this evolution, and if I did that, this is like the one thing that I would have no idea how to fix. Like, there's so many things in this run, if I mess up, I know how to deal with it. If I don't evolve there, I don't know. I'd probably just cry for the rest of the stream. So, this is Nidorino's one and only fight in the entire run, so I hope you guys like him. His sprite's pretty cool. And we're coming up on, I believe Zamber mentioned what was called Moonip, and we're coming up to the easiest Manip in the whole run. It's the easiest because we're not going to do frame perfect tricks or anything, but this Manip is over a minute and a half long. and if I mess up one tiny thing, if I'm not in a 15 frame window once, basically the Manip's dead, and we're gonna lose a lot of time. It's not that hard, but like in a marathon setting, playing on different TV and stuff, if I get it, I'm gonna freak out. That's like the only thing. So for those of you who like Pikachu, look at his awesome sprite. Alright, here, I'm gonna do something we don't do in marathons. Look at this. He's just adorable. He doesn't know, like, if he likes us yet or not. We're just his trainer, right? You know, I don't think I like Pikachu too much. We're just gonna put him in the box. Okay, everyone listen to this sound. Okay, ready? Pikachu's just so sad
Bible
every
thumps
single
in
time.
chat, everyone.
Aw. Pikachu, I'm sorry, man. So Pikachu, the reason why we box him is he actually causes extra cutscenes in this game. Like, one example is if you bring him to Bill's house, he'll get, like, super confused by Bill, and that just wastes time. He's also a walking, talking RNG manip-killing machine. Since he's kind of an NPC behind you, he can just wreck RNG. So all the manips with Pikachu up to this point are pretty controlled. If we would try to create a manip with, Pikachu for, like, Mount Moon, it probably just wouldn't work very well. So I'm going to try really hard here, and we'll see what happens. So this is Moonip. I'm basically going to walk on very specific tiles and press buttons at the appropriate time. And if I do my job, you won't see a single Zubat. But it's very hard to do under pressure. Like I said, it's not like timed very differently or anything. Like, there's no frame perfect tricks. It's just, it's such a long manip. And I already kind of messed up an A press at some point. And that's kind of just how Mount Moon can go. I could reset and try again, but honestly, like I said, I don't trust myself. And there's going to be too much time lost in me trying to redo the manip versus just walking past everything and just looking at these lovely Zubats. Now we're basically a casual playthrough. So welcome to part 1 of my Let's Play. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, there's a bat in my face. Go away.
Oh no! Yeah, this will be the thumbnail. Oh no, bats, go away. Awesome. Oh, and so anyone else who likes other kind of cool things around Pokemon, like Nuzlocks and stuff, congrats guys, we're playing a Nuzlocke. We caught one Pokemon in a route, and it's not gonna die, I hope. So, if everything goes perfectly, you'll see a really fast Nuzlocke today.
We even nicknamed it.
Yeah, we even nicknamed it. It's perfect. So there's 2 items I picked up in here. I picked up a rare candy, because it's just gonna be nice to level up faster. And we picked up a Moonstone. And the Moonstone is gonna become helpful very soon. It's gonna make us evolve New Castle here into Nidoking. We could do that right now, but there's a small kind of like strat that changes. His cry as Nidoking is actually longer. So we would waste time by all these Zubats appearing because Nidorinos is just a really short cry, and Nidoking like cries to the heavens every single time.
I do have a
he comes
donation,
out.
so just let me know when a good time
Oh,
for this.
that was a perfect time. I don't want to
Alright.
see Zubats.
We have $2 from Hammer Show, who says, "Hey Sudo, Moonip might not work due to a 4-letter character name. So in picking up rare candy, it says Gary found rare candy instead of A found rare candy. Mankey yes. But good luck on the run."
Oh, I'm a fool.
Honestly, I didn't think of that either.
I didn't think of that. Hammer's the best, man. So the Ted Hammer Show is an amazing runner. He runs Red, knows a lot about these games. And as you hear from that donation, he's really knowledgeable too. So I never thought about that because I've only done 2 marathons up to this point. I didn't think that we would absolutely fail that manip. So since the name is long, like he said, when I picked up an item, it threw off the timing of the manip. The manip has to be frame perfect, and if it's not, we're kind of out of luck here. Awesome. So now we have Nidoking. And this is actually like the main reason why Nidoking is such a good Pokemon to use for this game. We can just get a Nidoking so early. So we're gonna be fighting 2 Pokemon for this point of the game are very strong. Like we haven't seen them yet. Like they're Grimer, and then we're gonna have a Coughing. Voltorb's not that powerful, but they just have a lot of defense. And look how much damage we do with Horn Attack. We're able to 2-shot them. So this Manipped Nidoran with the level 16 really makes a big difference. So I'm going to be switching to use Double Kick here. And there's a slight kind of tech that's going on. So there's actually animations in this game even when they're turned off. So kind of watch what happens when they use Horn Attack here. Notice how the sprite kind of flashes like that? Well, that's the first type of animation. It's called a flash animation, and any move that just deals damage does the flash. Now I'm going to switch to Double Kick here, and watch what happens. It's this short little shake animation. So those animations are for any move that can have text afterwards. So, like, Double Kick is going to hit twice. So it's going to be... And we get the Helix in this game. So praise Helix, everyone.
Put your presence in chat.
So, at this point in the game right now, we're going to be kind of using Double Kick to finish off Pokemon when we can, just because that shake animation is so much faster. Even with the extra text of, like, not very effective, as long as we kill it in one kick, it's going to be faster. So there's also a lot of small tech I'm going to mention. By the way, here's Team Rocket. They're not really terrifying. They kind of show up and we just wreck them with our Nidoking. They probably should have, manipulated their stats a little bit or EV trained or something, because this is a little sad. But at this point in the game, we're kind of getting to the point that we're getting very powerful, and one of the things I want to get to is, I don't know why I didn't press the button there, but we want to get to level 21 as fast as possible. 21 is kind of a really good point for Nidoking, and we'll kind of see why. And there's nothing special about 21, but it's going to set us up for another reason why Nidoking's really good. So, we got through Mount Moon, not Manip, because I didn't plan ahead with the name. But right now, we're kind of gonna leave Mount Moon. If I had to guess, we're probably like 31 minutes into the run right now.
34.
34. Wow, I'm under today. So, we're like 34 minutes into this run, and we haven't even fought our second gym leader. The second half of this game, we're gonna finish in about probably 45 minutes. It starts going very fast. So we made it through all the Zubats, and we're coming up to a portion of the game where we're going to be doing a lot of fights, a lot of gym leaders kind of back to back. So basically this game has a really interesting interest curve, in my opinion. Like, there's just so much slow stuff at the beginning, and pretty soon here we're just going to be doing like gym leader to gym leader very quickly. But first, I'm going to save, and anyone who runs this game can laugh at me right now. The only reason I'm saving, we have a rival fight coming up here, and somehow I happened to die in a race to this. It's like, you never should. I just wasn't paying attention, and I had to re-go through Mount Moon, and that was so embarrassing. I'm never going to let that happen again. So we're just going to save, so if something happens, I could just reset.
All right, can I read off a couple donations?
Oh, go right ahead, man.
We have $2 from Anal Pikachu, who says, "Shut up, Hammer." And then we have $1 from Marcherify. I hope I pronounced that correct. Marcherify, okay. Who says, "Moonip doesn't work. Hammer and I just confirmed this with the emulator. You are awesome. We love you, Sudo." So I just want to point out that they went through all that to confirm it with the emulator during this run. That's dedication.
They are amazing people. And honestly, to any speedrunner out there or any casual person, PSR is a very amazing community. There's a lot of good resources out there to get into this game. It's an amazing community. Like, all 3 of those people are runners, and they're here supporting me, checking something I didn't know in the middle of a run. So that's just amazing dedication, and it's a great community. So I would definitely recommend anyone who's even interested in trying a Pokemon game to get into it. One thing, and I believe Helix even mentioned this to me off camera, people think that Pokemon needs a lot of patience in order to run it, because it's RNG, you could be resetting at the drop of a hat, and yes, that is kind of true. There's so much RNG in this game, there's going to be times where I basically am just going to have 18% chance to die, and there's nothing I can do about it. In this marathon we can save, but in a PB attempt you're not gonna. And there's been many runs by me and better runners out there who've died at the very end of the game on really good pace. And it's something that people think is very disheartening, but the strange thing with Pokemon is we know the odds of like all this. Like, if you've ever played a game and been like, oh, I wonder what the chance is. Like, watch a Pokemon speedrunner and they'll be like, oh, that was a 1.5% chance to happen. This is the worst. It's just, there's not too much in Pokemon, so we can calculate the odds very easily of, like, something really bad happening. So, if you ever want to kind of go crazy with, resetting, Pokemon can be really interesting. Because you can get to the very end and lose on a 1 in 256 chance or something like that.
And there goes an hour and a half of your life.
Yeah, there goes over an hour and a half of your life. But, you know what? You could just be lucky. All you have to do is be lucky and get good and you'll get world record. It's that easy, everyone. If you're a lucky person, go buy this game. Start speedrunning it. You'll get world record in 3 days or I owe you money. How about that? It's just that simple. So this bridge has a couple of ranges. So like I said, ranges are just that varying damage. Like that Pidgey there, it's favorable to kill, but it could have lived. And this Nidoran here is in red bar, and oh, I can't double kick that. I'm glad I double checked. Sometimes you can kill it with double kick, but it was 1 HP too high. So, this fight here is, we're basically on this bridge and we have to fight all these trainers in order to get an awesome prize of a nugget, which is actually really cool because we're going to use it in this run. It's going to give us a lot of money. But right now, this is the last fight before we turn 21. And the reason why 21 is important is because 21 is actually not. 23 is super important. So, we got 2 rare candies in this game, one in Mountain Moon, and I walked behind this guy's house and I picked up a candy back there. By the way, don't eat candy you find in old people's backyards. Probably not recommended, but it works out great here. So, now that Newcastle's 21, we're going to use both of our rare candies.
You didn't need it, you fed it to your Pokemon.
You know, he can be my test subject for this, it's fine. So we're going to rare candy Newcastle here twice. And we're going to hit level 23. And he's going to learn his one and only move. This is the only move he learns in the whole game, and it's the best move. Thrash is such a good move that we save our rare candies just to use them to get Thrash as soon as possible. So, a couple things about Thrash. So, it's a 90 power move, and at this point in the game, that's really good. And it's 100% accurate. We haven't talked about accuracy too much, but every move has different accuracy. So having a move that's 90% accurate that we're going to use a lot is kind of less than optimal, because we're going to be expected to miss a couple times. And that will come back later in this run. So, Thrash is 100% accurate, but it has a lot of other properties. I can't really show it off too well in this fight, but when we pick Thrash, you're locked into using Thrash for 3 or 4 turns. So it's a 50% chance for each. But why is that such a good thing? Well, we're speedrunners. We're going to use Thrash if we know for a fact we can kill every Pokemon in 3 turns. And that's because, well, we're going to save time then. All that time of selecting your move is going to just be non-existent for us, because we're going to use Thrash. It's going to auto-select the move for us. And in a game like Pokemon that's so heavily optimized that world record runners are literally trying to get under 5 to 10 seconds of errors in their runs, which is insanely low. Like other games, like they shoot for under like 30 seconds or minutes of mistakes. Pokemon's just so optimized that you have to shoot for such a small margin of error. All this time adds up and really kind of makes the run what it is. So I use Thrash here, and I'm going to stop holding a button here. So I'm going to kind of just show you. I'm not hitting a button, and it auto-selects the move for us. And that just saves a lot of time. It's very powerful. We're going to use this a lot in the run. So here's that Team Rocket chance. We sadly did not catch them. Sorry, we did not join them this time. Oh, I said no to Charmander, my bad. Charmander is my favorite Pokemon, actually. So, the only reason I run yellow is because we get Charmander. If you run red or blue, you have to pick Squirtle, otherwise you're not cool. So, I run this game just because we get Squirtle. So, now that we have Squirtle, I'm going to fight this bottom hiker here. And I'll just point it out because it's kind of interesting. This is the one major thing that changes if I lost to the rival at the beginning of the game. So, if I lost to the rival, I would be short on experience. Explaining why is a little bit complicated, but basically we would need to grind some extra experience. So we're fighting this bottom hiker, which is faster because he only has one Pokemon. But if we died in the first fight, I would have to fight the top hiker, which is the guy to the left there, and he has 2 Pokemon. And that magically fixes almost everything in the run. It's just, Pokemon is in such an amazing game, when you're looking at it from a speedrunning perspective, because so much of it is just really optimized and laid out. We'll know exactly how much damage the minimum is, and we'll do exact amount of damage we need to kill something. So I'll kind of bring it up later, but there's one gym later on where we want to kill 3 Pokemon with Thrash, and it's later on in the game, so Thrash isn't that good anymore, and we have literally the bare minimum attack we need to kill every 3 Pokemon with Thrash. So we're able to eliminate that range of killing them and just guarantee it, which is insanely optimized and just really cool in my opinion.
So I do have quite a bit to say.
Oh, go right ahead,
Okay.
man.
First of all, we have $5 from Benedictator. There's no comment associated with that, but thank you for your donation. And then coming up, after this, we have One Dog Story by the Oblivinator. There's an incentive for that, $30 to make him play without socks. There's $15 donated towards that already, so 15 more and he will play without socks. And after that, we have Cluster Truck by Imawaka, and you can enable Twitch integration for that for the small price of $35. We already have $5 towards that, so 30 more, and we will enable Twitch integration for Cluster Truck. You definitely want to see that. It's super fun. And now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
So, with the no sock run, are we gonna have a toe cam? That's all I really care about. So we're kind of fighting our last trainer before we fight Misty here, and Misty pre-manip times, when this game didn't always use RNG manip, they used to have to catch a Nidoran, check its stats, hope it was good. Misty used to be one of the worst gyms because most of the time, unless you were really lucky, you would have a Nidoran that's slower than her. So she would always hit first, and she does a lot of damage to you. So Misty used to be the run killer in runs, basically pre-2015. And that was one reason why Yellow was such a really annoying game to kind of speedrun, and Red at that time, because a lot of your runs would just die at Misty. It's better than dying really late in the game, but you didn't have a really great chance of doing it. And then RNG Manip really kind of changed it. So we have a Nidoran. For DVs, I'll kind of quick explain them. We have a DV of 15 attack and 14 speed. And really, all DVs are just kind of how good they are from a scale of 0 to 15. So we have perfect attack and near perfect speed. And those are the most important stats for us.
If you know what IVs are for the later generations, this is kind of the same thing.
Exactly. IVs are between 0 and 31. So basically, instead of having all those numbers, we just have half the numbers. They're the same thing. So I'm going to take the center here. Our castle's really hurting here. So we'll kind of heal up, and then we're going to fight Misty. And Misty, now that we are faster and we get to attack first, isn't terrible, but we still have a pretty high chance to die. From this point on, we're really only going to have chances to die to gym leaders and E4. If I die to something else, it's because I would do something really poorly, like not play safe, which I'm going to play safe here. But gym leaders are just going to be a pretty big hindrance in this game because they're more powerful. We have a higher chance to die. So this Goldeen, let's just hope it doesn't happen. Awesome, we got a crit. So this Goldeen won't die without crit, and if it gets a chance to attack, it can use Supersonic, which is a really low chance to happen and for it to hit you. And if that happens, we're confused, and then we're just going to be really, really hurting. So I'm going to save again because we just kind of need to save in this game. For gym leaders, we're going to save for almost all gym leaders. So I'm going to use Thrash, and that's because Staryu would still do a lot of damage to me, and unless something really bad happens, we have basically the exact damage we need to make sure we kill Misty and Staryu. Staryu and Starmie every single time. So this is going to do roughly half HP, unless we crit. That's awesome.
Oh my, let's go.
So I can still die. Let's hope that it doesn't happen. Okay, we're good.
Cool.
So if we got crit, we wouldn't really die, but we would be really low HP. If we already took damage, we could die to a crit, but full health, we're not going to die. But if we got Spedfall, which is a 25% chance, I believe, I actually don't know if that's the correct, but I'm fairly certain it's 25 HP.
Was that Thrash crit technically slower because you had the critical hit text?
Yes, but she can also use an X defend, and that's why a crit's really good. If she chose to X defend, we would have actually gone through that whole fight without a single point of damage. So normally, like, random crits that don't help us would be really bad. But that's one of the few ones that we're glad to see a crit.
Okay.
Because if she happens to X defend, it's actually a really good fight for us then. Whoops. So we're gonna kind of fight this guy here. You have to for story, but he's actually gonna give us the power of teleportation. So we're gonna really utilize that. So at this point in the game, as a runner, like, we basically just thrash everything we see. If it's like a rock type, we won't, but everything else just dies to thrash, so we're going to be mashing A to use thrash a lot. So it can be one of those things as a runner that I've been autopiloting this section of the run because there's not many choices. But in the next about 12 minutes, we're going to have a lot of choices in the game, and I'm going to have to kind of decide like how to play safe and how to properly play the turns that I get in Pokemon. So what he gave me there was TM28, and TM28 is Dig, and it's not... The sad thing is Gen 1 Dig is really powerful. It's 100 power. Like, almost anyone who plays later Pokemon, like, Dig's not a good move. But in Gen 1, it's super good. So, normally... Oh, I got it! Sweet! So I didn't think that trick would happen, because, we picked up that item, and you'll notice a Jingle didn't play. And we have the maximum characters for that trick to work. If we had, like, another longer name, that wouldn't work, but with 4 characters, you can still do it. So, just the game doesn't have time to load up the Jingle, because your name is so short. We pick it up almost right away, and then it's like, oh, we couldn't load the track, so whatever, keep going. I wonder, we're gonna probably be able to do another, another trick with a short name then. I wonder if it's gonna work. And if it doesn't work, it's not a big deal at all. But it's just something kind of cool that happens when you have a really short name in this game, like Ash or Gary, potentially. So, we're just kind of thrashing through things again. All these Pokemon that we're kind of fighting have a chance to use Quick Attack, and Quick Attack is just going to waste some time here. So there's 5 chances for that to happen before the next gym leader. And we got really lucky. We didn't get a single Quick Attack. So there's 1 Pokemon here that can use Quick Attack. Let's see if it happens. So you'll kind of notice, especially right now, like we're fighting a lot of just like random Pidgeys, Spearows, Rattatas, and we're just using a Nidoking. And that's just another testament to how good Nidoking is. Like, we're level 26 at this point, fighting level 13 Pidgeys. It's just, we're just going insanely fast at this point. We can one-shot almost any Pokemon we run into. So this is our second shopping of 3. We're not going to... Whoops, we're not going to shop very much in this run.
Apparently we're not going to shop at all.
No, I don't want anything he has. So I'm going to pick up some repels. I'm going to sell the first item we got, which is the Bide TM from Brock, and we're going to sell that nugget. It's just kind of an optimal time to sell it. We're not going to sell anything else in this run. So while we're buying these 3 repels, we only need 3. If I need more than 3, I'm really bad.
Oh no.
And we did it. We got in. If I would have somehow forgotten that, I don't know what I would have done. And we're going to be doing something that I don't think any of you guys would approve of. We're going to teach Bubble Beam to Nidoking. I hope that's okay.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, she did tell us to teach it to a water Pokemon, but I don't have one, so I guess we're just going to teach it to Nidoking. I mean, whatever. It's close enough, right?
Put that on your Pokemon Showdown team.
So, Nidoking is just broken in this game. He can learn so many moves. He can learn Bubble Beam. He can learn Thunderbolt. He can learn Ice Beam, Blizzard, like so many moves. But he can't learn Dig. That 100 power ground type move, he can't learn it. So they imagine a giant purple monster spitting bubbles out of its mouth before they thought he could dig in the ground. So this is one of the few fights that I'm not going to thrash. So if you thrashed in this fight, like, you're going to kill the first Spearow and it's going to die, and then you're going to kill the second Pokemon, the Rattata, it's going to die. Awesome, right? But the real problem would be this third Pokemon here, his Sandshrew. Sandshrew will not die to a Thrash unless it crits. So, one thing I didn't mention about Thrash yet is, after the 3 or 4 terms of Thrash going off, it's gonna confuse you. So, if we would have Thrashed there, I would have had to hope for really good luck. Otherwise, we would be confused, and really, it's just all up to RNG at that point. Mankey yes, everybody.
Mankey yes.
So, this is the next trick I was talking about with having a really short name. I think it's going to work because the last one did. So, we're going to mash through this text super fast, and we'll see if it works. Yes! Awesome.
Let's go.
So, if you have 4 characters or less, all these jingles, they don't have time to load. It's the same thing as before. The game's trying to load up this track, and we're mashing through the text so fast that the game doesn't have time to play it out. If I had a longer name, like 5 characters, it would still play because the game it has 1 more frame to load up the track. But since we have a short name, and because you guys picked Gary, which is awesome because it worked, we're able to just do that. So, this is like one of the few points in this game that you get to put the controller down and do nothing. It's like 30 seconds. It's my favorite 30 seconds in this game because up to this point, like, you've gotten through some of the more reset-heavy parts of the game, and you can kind of just relax and focus on the run and take your breather.
And then you're greeted with a wonderful song.
Oh, such a good... Gen 1 Pokemon... so, people kind of look at Gen 1 and they're like... There's people who say Gen 1's the best game and all this stuff. I'm not going to argue about what's the best game, but for me personally, Gen 1 has my favorite Pokemon designs. I think the Gen 1 Pokemon, almost all of them were designed really interesting, and it's just really cool. I love the Pokemon in them, and that's why Gen 1's my favorite. I don't think the game is in particular the best design. Like, there's issues. It's the first game. But for me, I just love the Pokemon and how they look. I still don't think they have as interesting of Pokemon as they do today, but that's my own personal opinion.
I really like Gen 1 because of all like the glitches and stuff that can happen with it.
Oh, there's
and
so
just,
many.
It's so interesting the way the game is made. And also I do really like the Pokemon designs. A few of my favorite Pokemon, like 3 of my top 5, I think, come from Gen 1.
It's such a good game in my opinion. So Charmander, the reason we needed to get Charmander is we need a Pokemon to learn Dig and we need a Pokemon to learn Scratch. And this guy just gave one away for free, so whatever, we'll take it. It's my favorite Pokemon, so we'll use it. So now we know Dig and we know Cut. Cut we're gonna use. Yes! No way! What? Okay, so this is really unlucky. This is like the best can you can get. So I'm going to explain this really quick. This middle row's glitched in Pokemon Yellow. So for whatever reason, each of those cans, it's supposed to be like 50% for a can to be correct, or like 75% on the edge. The middle cans are glitched. You'll notice that I checked the top left, and the mechanic is supposed to be you check nearby cans, right? Well, if you ever played Yellow and you got really frustrated, the game was probably lying to you. For some reason, the game freaks out with the middle row, and more likely than not, it's in the top left can. And if it's not in the top left can, it's in a random can. So, we got really lucky there.
You know how I said I really like... I think the way the game is made is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, there's so many interesting things that happen here.
I almost said I really like it. Well, sometimes I don't.
And third gym down. So we're gonna get another badge boost here. I forget what stat this is. They kind of don't matter too much at this point in the game. The only one that really mattered and why I talked about before was the attack badge boost is really gonna matter because we're using Nidoking. Whoops. So the other ones aren't really gonna make too much of a difference. But the speed one's gonna really come into play. But we'll talk about that more later. But right now we have perfect attack and we're using attack moves all the time. But we need to kind of go to a Pokemon Center, and I can't think of a better way of doing that than digging a hole with a Charmander halfway across town. And look at that. We're back to Cerulean City.
And then you dig up right in front of the Pokemon Center, and if someone happens to walk out at that exact time, they just fall on top of you.
Exactly.
And then the game's over.
Oh. So we're gonna get the bike. You actually need the bike in this game. You can't really complete the game without it, and we want it obviously. So it's not the. Oh my gosh. We'll gladly take it at this point. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, well, I don't know. Bubble Beam worked really good on Nidoking. Why not teach a Thunderbolt too? I mean, why not? I mean, nothing else can learn it. I mean, I have to use these TMs, right? That's how I play Pokemon?
Get that coverage.
Exactly. So now it knows Thunderbolt. And the funny thing with Thunderbolt is we're not going to use it like at all in this run, but it's super important. Thunderbolt, I've accidentally taught over Thunderbolt more than any other runner, I think. Basically, we teach it right here right now, and we always teach over the third slot, but later on we're going to learn a move called Blizzard. And I teach over the third slot by accident when I'm teaching Blizzard, we will lose Thunderbolt, which will probably kill the run. Because we only use Thunderbolt really 5 times in the run, but the last 2 uses of it are so important. So let's hope I don't do that, and we'll be totally fine this run.
Fingers crossed.
So this fight is called the 4-turn Thrash fight. Because this person has 4 Pokemon.
Yep.
Let's hope. Yes! Alright. The first Pokemon will only die to Thrash. So we need to use Thrash because that Pokemon is an Oddish. Oddish has Stun Spore and has Sleep Powder.
Ew.
It would just waste so much time for us. So we
never
have
liked
to
fighting
Thrash
those.
it. Yeah, it's such a time waster and stall waster. But so we have to use Thrash. But what really stinks is the last Pokemon is a Bellsprout. Bellsprout has Wrap, Sleep Powder, and Stun Spore as well. So we can just lose. Actually, I don't know if it has Stun Spore, but I know it has Sleep Powder, it has Wrap. So both those Pokemon just waste so much time. So we just use Thrash and we hope. So the interesting thing that happened to me with that fight is, I didn't get 4-turn Thrash. So I was confused. And in this game, when you're confused, you have a 50% chance to hit through. So you basically have 25% chance to lose so much time in that fight. But if you don't, awesome. it doesn't feel like 25%. There's a lot of things in this game that when you're on really good pace, they don't feel like they're 25%. Like later on, we're going to use a move called Blizzard. Blizzard is 90% accurate, so it misses 10% of the time, right? Well, I swear, that 10% happens quite often when you're on PB pace. So, you may notice, I'm in Rock Tunnel right now, and Rock Tunnel doesn't have any lights on. And some people have asked, not me particular, but other streamers, if they have, like, a trick to be, like, looking, like, a little tiny, like, marker on their screen to know where they are. No. Funnily enough, going through Rock Tunnel in the dark is actually not that hard. Everyone watching it normally thinks it is. But if you kind of look, you can see the walls very easily. And you can kind of see when I go up against a wall like this, you can kind of see my sprite. So doing Rock Tunnel in the dark is actually one of the easier things to learn in the speedrun. Because it's not that hard. When you learn where you're going, you just kind of do it.
I was gonna say, especially when you've played the game, you know, tens, hundreds of times.
Oh, definitely. So Newcastle here is doing really good. Killing everything like we're supposed to. Now is one of my least favorite fights in the whole game. So this trainer has Oddish. It's a 50-50 shot with critical to die to Thrash. Like we said, me and Helix both hate Pokemon that have like these trolley type moves. So this is an Oddish and it knows Stun Spore, Sleep Powder. All of those are terrible, and we crit, so I'm happy.
Yes.
I don't care what happens in the run now. We can die, I don't care. I beat the Oddish, I did my part.
Grass type is my least favorite, and water is my favorite, so
Ooh,
it makes
yeah,
sense.
so you definitely hate grass then.
yeah. Ice is also one of my favorites, and so they beat grass types, so you know.
Okay, really
Generally.
quick, Ice is so good in this generation, actually.
Yes.
Even though there's not a lot of dragon types, Ice is just good against whoops. Ice is, I'm lost?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm good now. Cool. There's just like trainers all about. It looks like I'm just going through with nothing, but if I would take a wrong step, we would easily waste a lot of time. Ice is just a really good type, and Blizzard's gonna be very helpful to us later on. At this point, like, Bubble Beam is such a good move for us. And this is kind of the time I'll talk about one other thing. So you might be wondering how a Nidoking is even dealing damage with Bubble Beam. Like, its special attack is garbage. It's, like, really bad, right? Well, in Gen 1, Special was one stat. Special defense and special attack was lumped together because they could only have enough room for 4 stats. So I'll explain this because I'm a programmer and I think it's really interesting. So the 4 stats that are saved into memory are attack, defense, speed, and special. So those are the 4, but you'll notice we also have this HP stat. Well, funnily enough, they use the 4 previous stats to calculate HP. So your HP is totally dependent on the 4 other stats. And that's just one of the tricks they use to save on memory on this game. But with Special being together, it's really cool because Nidoking, they wanted him to be a bulky Pokemon, right? He has pretty good defense, he has pretty good special defense, right? Well, in this game, they just gave him good special. Because they're like, we want him to be a bulky Pokemon. That means we can, like, one-shot things we should not be able to with special type moves. All because they just wanted him to be an awesome Pokemon. And trust me, they definitely succeeded.
I'm just picturing Nidoking shooting bubbles at people.
like pulling out, like, just, like, the soapy bubbles and just blowing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Someone should... That's probably already a GIF. I'm imagining it, but I guarantee you, it's the internet.
We have $5 from Anonymous who says, dank.
Dang.
And I think that's appropriate, considering what we just talked about.
Exactly.
You could maybe describe it as that, yes.
Alright, so I'm gonna... one thing I've been doing is I've been swapping some moves around throughout the run. Just kind of putting them in more optimal spots for me. It doesn't really matter. But you'll notice I swapped Thrash at the bottom. I'm only going to use Thrash one more time in this run after this. And really, Thrash is an awesome move, but at this point in the game, its normal type moves just aren't really good. It's not super effective against anything. It's not super powerful. It was really good when we got it, but sadly Thrash just isn't very beneficial anymore. So there's one thing I'm going to do here, and I'm going to just try to focus really quick. I use a sound cue for this. I shouldn't. Did I overshoot by one? Nope, I undershot by a lot.
No.
So I use a sound cue there. You can easily count the pedals, and it's much easier, but I'm bad at the game, and I'll just deal with it. So I'm going to hop on this bike here, and we're going to do our last shopping of the whole run. We only shop 3 times, and this is kind of iconic in Pokemon speedrunning. You basically try to get to the town with all the items, and we're going to spend all the money we have up until this point. So if anyone's ever played Pokemon, here's what I want you to do. Start your favorite game, alright? Get to the point that you can buy X items, use them. No one uses X items, but they are the most powerful thing in Pokemon. Your life will be changed if you use X items. So we're going to buy, you heard me, 11 X accuracies, 4 X speeds, 3 X attacks, and 4 X specials. That was like most of my money down the drain.
And there's our life savings.
Yeah, and those things are awesome because they're going to save us so much time. Now, one thing I really like to picture when I run this game is that, like, we're, like, probably quite a bit over an hour, but, like, probably an hour and 10 minutes in the run or something like that. 107.
Actually, about to reach 108.
108 or so. So, this kid got a Pokemon, a Pikachu, and in a little over an hour has traveled halfway across the nation and has beaten up so many people with his Nidoking. It's just a really funny kind of image.
King blowing bubbles at them.
Exactly. And we're going to be buying something called a Pokédoll. That Pokédoll is super important. We're going to be doing the only sequence break in this whole run. So, sequence breaks, a lot of people think are just by default glitches, right? They actually aren't. It really depends on the game you're playing. So, I'm going to be doing one thing here really quick. Okay, cool. So, I can only buy 2 super potions, but that is totally fine. Generally, since I buy so many Pokeballs, I'm normally able to get 4 super potions, but I can only get 2, but that's totally fine. I know how to deal with that. What was I saying? Something about something. I don't even know. But that's like the iconic part of Pokemon. We did our shopping. We got all the items we're going to need for the rest of the run, and we're never going to shop again. Oh, darn it. I messed up the trick. So it's slightly faster to bike here by a few frames, but I totally forgot
Ride
what
the
I
bike
was
right
doing.
into their door.
Exactly. So we're going to get Fly, and Fly is a super useful move. And now we're going to do the biggest menu of the entire run. So we're going to be doing a lot of things. So we're going to be teaching Fly to our Pidgey here. We're going to be teaching Horn Drill, which is the one TM I bought in the shopping that we did. And I'm going to teach it over Horn Attack just so it's not at the top. I'm going to then use a Repel, which is really weird. Like, I'm nowhere near grass, but trust me, it'll be fine. We're going to swap X accuracies up, and we're going to teach Rock Slide and Nidoking. So, there's something really interesting in Pokemon. This Rock Slide, we're only going to use it 4 times, and we went through a lot of trouble to get that Rock Slide.
Do you think Super Repel is some sort of spray you put on yourself?
I've always wondered that.
Because I feel like in that instance he's just getting it confused with like spray on sunscreen.
Oh, probably, man. Because, like, I don't know, maybe he's spraying all of his Pokemon down one at a time too. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to see one of the most interesting things in this game. I'm going to use an X accuracy, and pretty soon here, you'll know why I bought so many. So I use an X accuracy there, alright? So I'm going to use Horn Drill. So Horn Drill is a one-hit KO move, alright? How it works is, it's 30% accurate, okay? And if you're faster than the Pokemon, you will one-hit KO the Pokemon. Okay? So attack doesn't matter, only speed matters. Well, the main downside is it only hits 30% of the time. Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon, their X accuracies, the way they were intended, it's not a glitch, it's actually what they intended it, because they made Gen 2 function the exact same way. It completely removes all accuracy checks. So now, every single move in this game when I use an X accuracy will always hit. So, as long as we're faster, we will always kill the Pokemon with Hornbill. So, like I said, our second really manip stat is speed. It's near perfect. And even if we had perfect stat in speed, it wouldn't matter that much from 14. So this 14 speed is going to allow us to kill so many things with Hornbill. So as long as we can X accuracy and Hornbill a lot of the fights to go faster, we will. Alright, so here is the reason we got Rock Slide. Rock Slide is used on 4 Ghastlies, and that's it. There's a strat called Rock Slide Skip. Here's the thing about Rock Slide Skip. Don't do it. It's really bad. It saves time on average, but it also infuriates you. So Rock Slide is a physical type move. So Ghastlies have really bad defense, so they're going to one-hit die to Rock Slide. Rock Slide's 90% accurate, so it can miss. But the nice thing is it look at that. And now we're confused.
Amazing.
I can swap if this gets really bad, but we attack through it, so that's fine. If we didn't get Rock Slide, which would be quite a bit faster, we would have to use Thunderbolt on each of these Pokemon. The problem with Thunderbolt is their special defense is high, obviously. Like, Ghastly specials are high, right? So, our T-Bolts would be 2-shot hits. And what moveset does Ghastly have? It has Confuse Ray, Lick, which can paralyze you, and Nightshade. So, 2 of them are absolutely terrible. If we got paralyzed, we would lose so much time. If we got confused and hit ourselves, we're just constantly losing time. So, Rock Slide Skip is a really kind of cool strat you can do if you're high on HP, because on average, you'll save like 3 seconds. But the top end of it, let's say you crit 4 Thunderbolts in a row, you can save almost over a minute. By just skipping. It's amazing. But it's obviously not going to happen. And the bottom end of it is also funny. You can get paralyzed and confused multiple times, and you have to reset.
Please don't even talk about that.
No. But we're not going to deal with that because we got Rock Slide, so that's really good. So I'm going to kind of start talking about one of the things that people, if you're watching this and might not know, are going to call a glitch. And I'm going to do my best explaining why it's not a glitch. We're going to come up to the portion of the game where you normally need the self-scope. As the story goes, you basically just need to get this item in order to see this Pokemon here. But we're going to be able to use an item called a Pokédoll, okay? So normally, if we run away from this fight, this trigger's still here. We'll still run into this ghost Pokemon every single time. Alright, I'm going to use the Pokédoll we bought. And how the Pokédoll is programmed as intended, which is why it's not a glitch, it makes you run away from any Pokemon, random encounter, and flags it as a victory. That's how it's programmed. So that's the key part, and flags it as a victory. So using that Pokédoll means we were able to run away, but then the trigger to run into the ghost again is gone, because the victory is the same thing as using the self-scope and like running away or catching the Pokemon. So it's flagged as a victory, so we're able to just go on to the next portion. I think it's kind of cool, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So there's a lot of tech in this game to going faster. I've been doing it all around, I just haven't talked about it. But I'm going to hold A here, and notice how the menu opened. So you can buffer on Pokemon cries to open up the menu faster. And it's just some cool things you can do to go faster. In a game of Pokemon, going fast is really important for all these things. And you can do the same thing mashing, but buffering is used all over the place, and it's just a cool way to get it framed perfectly. Theoretically, you could do the same thing mashing perfectly, but that's a little bit harder. And I know some top runners who don't buffer almost anything. They just prefer to time it out and mash it because they played it that much. So story-wise, we basically just need to go save this old man, and he's going to give us the Poke Flute, which is just important for story. Now, the cool thing about Gen 1 is this Poke Flute we can use in battle, too. So now if I ever get put to sleep, I can use that Poke Flute, which actually might wind up mattering at some point.
I've definitely seen it matter before.
So we're going to fly to this Pokemon Center, and we are going to heal up. And this portion of the game is going to be the first part in this game in a very long time I am under-leveled, okay? So normally, like if you're playing this game, like I said, this is our Let's Play, right? We're on like episode 3. I don't exactly know where to go. I Google it. It would tell me to go like, whoops. It would tell me to go fight Erica. We're not going to fight Erica. Erica's super scary. I don't like her. I just want to go as long as possible without fighting her. Did I remember to buy it? Yes. Yeah, exactly. So you can forget to buy fresh water, and then you get really sad, because then instead of making it past this guy, you have to go buy an item in the mart. So I didn't forget, so we're good. So like I said, Erica's just kind of super scary. We're gonna put off fighting her for a while. Instead, I'm gonna go to Silphco here, which they probably expect us to fight much later. But I'm pretty powerful. We have X items on our side.
We have Bubble Beam.
We have Bubble Beam, right? Actually, we don't have Bubble Beam anymore.
Oh,
yeah, I taught Rock Slide over
I must have been looking at like donations while you were doing that.
Yeah, so we finally got rid of Bubble Beam.
We had Bubble Beam.
Yeah.
We were the most powerful thing in existence.
Now instead, we just toss rocks from the ground on people, I guess. Anyways, so
I was actually wondering what you would put Rock Slide over, just because I wasn't paying attention when you did that.
X accuracies. Yeah, well, the old strat before was actually you taught it over Thrash, because Bubble Beam could kind of be useful in some scenarios. We really don't need it. And like I said, we're only going to use Thrash for one more fight in the game, so we could have taught it over Thrash, but that would kind of change things.
Yeah.
And Bubble Beam, we're going to get a move here that is going to kind of save us against a lot of rock-type Pokemon. So that was the last optional trainer in the entire game we're going to fight. I'm not going to fight any other trainers I don't absolutely have to, but fighting him is really important, because he is going to give us TM26. Does anyone want to guess what it is? It's Earthquake! Does anyone play competitive Pokemon? Well, guess what? Earthquake is historically still a competitive move. Ever since Gen 1, it has just been... Whoops. Helix Fossil? It's still used today. So it's just such a powerful move that fighting that extra trainer, he's guarding 3 things, alright? The Earthquake TM, a Carbos, which makes us faster, which is really good, and a rare candy. That guy is guarding everything, and he only has a Machoke. Like, they gave this guy the most important job, and he failed instantly. He should have brought his A-team, but unfortunately for him, our Nidoking could just beat him up. So now, we have Earthquake. Earthquake is awesome. It has 10 PP, it's a very powerful Earth-type move, so we have what's called Stab. So same type attack bonus
Yes.
is what Stab stands for. So we're going to be dealing a lot of damage with Earthquake. So we hit level 34 here. I'm going to be now using the rare candies that I swapped up to the top. Now the reason I'm doing this is, like I said, Nidoking doesn't learn any more bonus moves. So rare candies we're using now aren't really for moves, they're for stats. So at this point in the game, like I said, we're under level, so using rare candies are going to help us here. And now we're level 36, and we also used the Carbos. It's just, this is how this game is routed. It's so finite. I now have the exact speed I need to outspeed this rival's Kadabra, okay? So that makes this fight super safe, because if this Kadabra Psybeamed me, if I'm not full health, I'd die. So, being faster than it guarantees I'm able to kill it.
Otherwise, the Nuzlocke would be over.
Yeah, Nuzlocke would be over. We don't want that.
Then there goes our Let's Play.
Yeah. I don't know. Then we probably just pick up Crystal and be like, hey guys, I'm back with another Nuzlocke here. Alright, we're gonna use the next accuracy. It's funny because I actually do Nuzlocks too. I like to kind of poke fun, but I really enjoy Nuzlocks too. They're actually what got me back into Pokemon. I fell out of Pokemon for a large portion of my life. Just because, like, around Gen 4, like, I was growing up, Pokemon wasn't really a thing to me. And then Switch Plays Pokemon in college just got me back into watching Pokemon. I thought it was so fun. So I went back and played all the old games. And then I started playing some more. I got Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I did a Nuzlocke, and I got really into it. And then eventually I made my way to Pokemon speedrunning. So I'm very grateful for Pokemon Nuzlocke because it kind of brought me to speedrunning, which I actually really enjoy. And since I've mentioned it quite a few times, Pokemon Nuzlocks are they're a kind of challenge you can do with Pokemon where you only catch the Pokemon in one area. You can only catch the first Pokemon in one area, and if a Pokemon faints, it dies. I'm not going to get too much into detail, but it's just kind of a cool challenge you can do where if they faint, they're dead. It makes you kind of have to value and think about the game more.
If you actually haven't heard of a Nuzlocke or haven't tried it, just go look it up.
It's pretty cool.
Nuzlocke. So just Google it.
Yeah.
You'll find it instantly.
So we're going to get our last Pokemon in this game, Lapras. So this guy is in this corner, and we come up to him, and he's just like, oh, sure, here, I've been holding this Lapras to keep it safe. Why don't you take it? This guy clearly saw these thieves come in, try to steal Lapras, and now we're an accomplice. So now we have a free Lapras. I'm not going to complain. Our parents probably think we're like, 10 feet away. Meanwhile, we're halfway across the nation.
So you know how I mentioned how my favorite types are water and ice?
Yeah.
Lapras is my favorite Pokemon.
Lapras is such a cool Pokemon. I think it's really great because Gen 1, like, if you don't pick Squirtle, your water options are not very good until you get a Super Rod or until you get Lapras. You just don't have too many options of water Pokemon. So, congratulations. We beat Team Rocket for the very last time. I haven't even talked about them because they're just so meaningless in the course of the run. We just beat them really quickly. There's one kind of cool thing that most people probably wouldn't notice with Team Rocket is every single time you fight them, they lead off with a different Pokemon. So the first time you fight, they lead off with Ekans. Second time, they lead off with Meowth. And third time, they lead off with Weezing. It's like every single time they're trying to beat you. So they're trying to change their strats. But unfortunately, we're just way too powerful for them. So I'm going to use my first X item that is not an X accuracy. We're going to use an X attack just to basically make sure we can one-shot all these Pokemon here. This fight can actually be super annoying. Because this Persian can use Growl, and if it used Growl, my day would be a little bit wrecked.
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world. It turned out fine here. So I'm kind of debating. So normally we take quite a bit of damage here, and I was just going to do a super safe strat, and I'm still probably going to do, because you normally take damage and we heal up using a super potion, and I was going to center 100%. It's been going so good that I could skip that, but I think just for safety and the fact that I only have 2 super potions, we're going to center, we're going to just kind of hope for the best here. So, I said dig is a super important move, right? Well, normally it makes sense on what you can dig out of. We're on, like, the top floor of this building, and we're just gonna dig all the way down, dig a hole, and wind up right here.
We beat them, and then we destroy stuff.
Exactly.
Let's go.
So, the way that dig works is, it just checks what tile you're on, and for whatever reason, that tile, which is used in quite a few buildings, is a diggable tile. So there's certain buildings you can dig out of. It's just kind of an interesting quirk about these games. So I centered there basically, not for HP, but I need some PP. And I want to save my elixir, just in case something would happen. I'm just playing super safe. So I'm going to use another repel, and then we're going to use the Poke Flute. And anyone who played these games casually, I think this is a super cool moment when you're just like, you find this Snorlax for the first time, and it just wakes up and attacks you. Unfortunately, we're going to run away from this Snorlax.
I would attack someone for waking me up too.
I know. I love this sprite in yellow
It's so
because
good.
it's really good. Whereas in like red, it's not as good of a sprite. So I guess I can talk about it a little bit. Pokemon Yellow was kind of like a re-release of Red and Blue with like it's closer to the anime. There's a few changes. Like now we have color. Sprites are improved. There's just a lot of kind of cool things. But one of the things is that it's closer to the anime. And they kind of scatter that throughout the game in really interesting ways that a lot of people don't know. So there's an episode in the anime where one of the trainers is fighting Ash, and a Sandshrew uses Fissure, which doesn't happen. Like, Sandshrew can't learn Fissure. But in this game, they have it that there is a random trainer near Cerulean City that if you fight has a Sandshrew with Fissure. So they just do a couple things like that to kind of be closer to the anime, since it was meant to be a tie-in between the show, which became really popular, and the games. So we're going to the Savari Zone, and the real reason we're going there is there's a mechanic that a lot of people hate in Gen 1 Pokemon. You probably noticed it when you casually played it, if you did. Your bag can only hold 20 items. Everyone hates it, right? As a speedrunner, I absolutely love this mechanic. Because I'm able to fill up my bag, and then when a gym leader beats you, they try to like give you a TM and then explain like why their TM is going to save you and why that you should invest in stocks more or something like that. But if we're able to fill up our bag, that conversation doesn't happen. They tell you to go deposit stuff to make room for the item, but we're not going to come back. We're just going to take it and go.
I don't want your life advice. I'm only 10, but I just traveled half the nation in an hour. Come on now.
Exactly. So, I'm going through the Savari Zone with repels, and any like casual player looking at this, your heart's probably breaking. Like, I'm probably wasting all these awesome encounters. But I just don't need them. Any random encounter at this point is just super slow. When we get repels, we just kind of can avoid that almost completely. There's 2 points in this run where we're going to be able to get random encounters, and I'll kind of talk about that more.
I like how someone just left gold teeth on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, sure.
Meanwhile, this kid who clearly doesn't know what's going on, he's like, oh, whatever, I need this. Of all the things in here, I need this. So we're going to dig out of the Savari Zone, and then, obviously, the logical place, we're going to head right back here. And then I'm going to hop on my bike, and we're going to go fight Sabrina. So, Sabrina's a pretty easy... she's a super hard gym leader. I'm joking. She's super easy. She's the only gym in this entire game that as long as you don't make a mistake, it's impossible to die. If you make a mistake, obviously, you will. But, for whatever reason, Sabrina's Pokemon in Yellow they don't make sense. She has an Abra, a Kadabra, and an Alakazam, and her Pokemon are level 50. For whatever reason, she didn't teach her Abra anything other than Flash because it can't learn anything else, and she leads off with it.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it has Flash. You know, normally that'd get annoying, like I'm gonna miss some attacks, right? Well, thanks to X accuracies in Gen 1 and Gen 2, we are going to use X accuracy and X speed. And now I got flashed, but it doesn't matter. And I'm just gonna Earthquake.
Bye.
And now Abra's down. So, this is the Psychic gym, right? Psychic is really good against Poison. This should be the scariest gym for us, but because of Yellow and the fact that she just has Abra, it's the easiest gym. So, on Alakazam, and the reason why we use the X accuracy is I'm now faster, and I used X accuracy, so we're just gonna Horn Drill it. So the hardest gym we just were able to demolish just because she led off with Abra.
Meanwhile, we have $5 from Killjoy AEM, who says, "Good luck to one of my favorite speedrunners, SudoTrainer. He's always so positive and entertaining, and he deserves all the support in the world."
Aw, thanks, Killjoy.
Such a sweet message.
I really appreciate that. Killjoy's a variety streamer. I really enjoy watching her streams. So if you enjoy variety, especially Zelda, check her out, man. So next thing is, whoops, we just beat a gym, right? Well, I'm gonna immediately go fight another. We're at the point in the game that this is basically a boss rush. So I'm gonna go to Fuchsia City here, and we're just going to tackle another gym leader. So the next 4 gym leaders are back to back as fast as I possibly can. So Gary's gonna get on this bike here. We're gonna go into this. So there's quite a few like mandatory trainers we have to fight. And I kind of referenced this before, but this is my favorite rerouting in the history of Pokemon Yellow that I kind of know. I'm a fairly new runner, but I really like the history and talking to runners who've been around a long time. And there's a runner called TI Kevin 83, and he kind of rerouted Pokemon a couple years ago. Before, you would kind of save all your rare candies, and then you would use them right before Koga. Because that's how the experience worked. But T.I. Kevin came up with that strat where we rare candy and Silph.Co, and this is what changed. The way that that's routed, we have the exact strength we need in order to one-shot these 3 Pokemon with Thrash. So we saved Thrash just for this one fight, and it's awesome. Because, yeah, cool, Thrash is fast, but what did that really do? Well, now, before we would have to use 3 Earthquakes, and those Earthquake only has 10 PP. And at this point in the game, we're trying to go really fast. So, we're not going to really care about our health. We're just going to kind of keep on barreling through. We're not going to get hit a lot. We just want to kill things. So, having to stop and refill your PP just to keep going is super slow. So, being able to save 3 extra Earthquakes completely changes how the end game plays out. And since I'm like shouting out someone who's put a lot in the community, so RNG Manips are a big part of Pokemon. And they're, some people often ask like, how are RNG Manips found in Pokemon? Well, the answer was, originally they were found with someone manually trying to restart the game and finding the perfect Pokemon manually, which takes a long time. Today, all these Manips are found by botting, and there's quite a few amazing botters out there who've put a lot of time into this game and finding the Manips we use. One of them is Stringflow77. He's botted and found a lot of the Manips I've been using in this. DeBombstew, who contributed a lot to PSR, and he was the one that found the first Nidomanip, the one I did today. And just way more. So in this fight, these Venonets, no sleep pattern. So I want to avoid that at all costs. Oh, well, actually, I think only the first Venonet no sleep pattern. So this one, that's why I use an X accuracy Horn Drill, the first one, and then we set up on the second one. Because only the first one no sleep pattern. So we killed the one that can put us to sleep, and now we're just able to Horn Drill the rest of them. So one kind of cool thing at this point, right now, all the moves we have, we're not going to use another PP restoring item really until later. If we were doing a normal run and not playing Marathon Safe, we would just kind of roll with whatever attacks we have left. So I wouldn't be able to Horn Drill anything else. But it kind of works out perfectly. We're going to be getting a new move soon, and you kind of just run this game until you're out of PP, use an item to get it all back, and then you just go right back into it. But since we're doing a marathon, we're going to be super safe, and we're going to do something called Mom Heal. So normally in Pokemon, it's not like Gen 2 where you actually call your mom because it's faster. We're going to go see our mom because we're slow and we need to kind of take a rest for a moment. So those gold teeth we found, we just obviously knew that they belonged to this guy. We could sense it.
Oh, yeah.
So we gave it to him, and now we're going to head back home. So the main reason I'm doing this is because of just how the money worked out. I don't have enough healing items to really heal myself up. It would just take too much. So I'm going to talk to my mom, and she's basically a Pokemon Center. And then I'm going to be heading on to the next section of the game. So I'm going to, whoops, I'm in a Super Repel. And we are going to teach Surf to our beloved Lapras. And then I am going to Carbos.
What do you mean you traveled half the country in like an hour? You must be delusional. Go take a nap.
Exactly. That's basically what happened. Meanwhile, we have, what, 5 badges? Yeah, we have 5 badges at this point. Oh, it's great.
Alright. While we're waiting, I have a Jolteon hat in my bag that I was going to wear for this run. I forgot about it till now. We're going to go grab that.
Woo! I'm excited. So at this point right now, really what we're doing is we have to kind of get this hidden key, the secret key, in order to get to the next gym leader. So I used a Super Repel. But this is perfect timing. I got an encounter. How Pokemon works is repels only keep Pokemon that are lower level than you away. So in this area of the game, it just happened to work out that we are lower level than Rattatas that are level 43, Raticates that are level 43, and Raticates that are level 46. So, this is, in Pokemon, there's a lot of variance, right? But a lot of it we can kind of control. Like, it's more so we just have percentages to die. For world records runs, this is where so many runs can die. Because they can't control these, encounters. It's not like they can really, like, play around them or, like, be safe. If they just happen to get encounters, they're gonna lose world record just by the fact that they got unlucky. So this adds a lot of variance in the late game, actually. So this is the key part. If I taught Blizzard over Thunderbolt there, I know a lot of people who would never forgive me. Don't worry, guys. I learned my lesson from the 15 times. I'll probably do it next stream, though.
I don't think this is going to fit over my headphones, but we're going to...
I believe in you.
This isn't going to work very well. We're just going to put it there, and it's going to be fine.
It's great, man. I'm looking at the game, but hold on. It looks great. I love it.
I got this at the first ever PokeCon here in Minnesota.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah. And I was like, well, I have this, so I'll just bring it for the Pokemon run.
So, one thing I'm doing here is there's kind of 2 routes you can do at the end game here. I'm going for the most optimal one. It doesn't really change things since we're saving. It's slightly more risky, but with end game it literally doesn't matter that much. So I'm going to go for the more optimal route because we have to save anyways. I'm basically skipping this rare candy. Wait. Whoops. Don't worry, guys. Anyone who was about to yell at me, I'm sorry. I remember the route. Basically, Erica's still super scary, so we're going to go fight Blaine. That's why we kind of got the key. We wanted to basically get Blizzard as soon as possible. And we're going to use that here really soon. But it's just kind of with how the experience works out that we're going to fight Blaine. It's not faster or slower to fight Erica or Blaine first, but let's say I would have forgotten and I would have fought Erica first. I would have actually accidentally killed my run, and that would have been terrible because of how the XP works in this game. I could have fixed it, but it would have like taken a lot of time. If you fight Erica first, you level up in this fight, and this is a fight that we're going to be doing something really cool with badge boosting. Like I said, this game is so optimized down to the tiniest thing. So, I told you badge boosts matter, and in fights we count on them. Well, before, when I was talking about badge boosting, it required like string shot, right? A move your opponent uses. Well, what if I told you X items also count
Oh no.
for badge boosting? So, that makes routing this game super cool. So now, I'm going to save just because there's a chance to die in this fight and I can't prevent it. So we're going to just save to be super safe. And so Arcanine is faster than us, right? And he can Fire Blast us and kill us if we've taken any damage, and I think even from full health or crit totally could kill us.
So what you're saying is Mankey S.
Mankey yes. But we are going to use X attack. Alright? Now, that raised our attack, but what that also did for us is it raised our speed because of the badge boosting natural glitch I mentioned before.
Right.
So now, Arcanine was faster than us, but our speed just went up by 12.5%. So now I can Earthquake this. Now, why this is scary, in the way that this was routed, the final Pokemon is an 80% range here, and he can kill me. So that's why we saved beforehand. So we have a 20% chance to not kill it here. And
We got it, though. Let's
we
go.
got it, so
Good, good.
awesome. And now we're level 43. So you can kind of see how close I was to a level up. So if we would have fought in some lower level but more Pokemon, we would have leveled up before Arcanine, lost our badge boost, and I would have had to explain to PSR why I failed them. So now we're going to use Charmander. We're going to dig across the ocean.
Yes.
And we're going to get back on our bike here.
What a trooper.
And now that we've leveled up, we're like level 43. I'm confident to take on this Erica. The main reason we put off Erica without like jokes is that we just don't have anything that's good against her Pokemon. We could fight them with Thrash and stuff. We'd probably beat her, but it'd just be really slow. We don't have any move that's super effective. So we kind of put off fighting her until we have Blizzard. Blizzard's an ice move, which is really good against grass types. So we're able to just use Blizzard now to kill a couple of the Pokemon that would have been an issue before. So this Pokemon here, ooh, it already happened. So Blizzard is 90% accurate. Now, the reason why this really stinks is Blizzard is one of the key moves we're going to need in the Elite Four. If Blizzard misses in the E4, we are dead. There's nothing we can do about it. And this is what I was alluding to before with world record runs. So many world record runs, when they get to E4, can just die by missing one of the 5 important Blizzards. If you miss any of those, you're really, really out of luck. So we're going to use Blizzard here, and then I'm going to use Blizzard one more time. Actually, no, I don't have to. Never mind. We took Mom Heal, which we normally don't, so I have extra Earthquakes, which just makes this fight a little nice. Because Earthquake's 100% accurate, while Blizzard is 90%.
Shoutouts to moms.
Yeah, moms are best, man. So one thing, it's just kind of cool to kind of talk about. I'm surprised it hasn't happened, because it's supposed to happen at least once a run, like statistically. Gen 1 has a glitch with how accuracy is done. So there's a thing called a Gen 1 miss. I probably mentioned it at some point, but Gen 1 misses are... The game rolls a number between 0 and 255, and if it happens to roll the highest number, 255, which should be considered like a hit, the game, because they forgot an equal sign in the programming, they mistakenly had the highest roll ever for accuracy miss. So, if you happen to get the highest number in a roll, you can miss a 100% accurate move. So Gen 1 missing statistically happens at least once during the run.
Yes.
Obviously, it doesn't have to happen, but it's likely to happen at least once.
Because it's 1 in 256.
Yeah. And X accuracies remove that, so you can't Gen 1 miss after X accuracies. So it's a little bit lower just because we use them enough. But it also counts on your opponents. Your opponents can Gen 1 miss as well. So, likely, we're going to have Gen 1 miss on either us or the opponent. So, I'm going to use an elixir here to get my PP back. We're going to use the rare candy. So now we're level 45. And then I'm going to fight this trainer. So this trainer, he has basically a bunch of Machokes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I scratched it.
Oh, now you're good. He has Machokes and a Machop. So this is where, like, we're going to be blizzarding quite a few things, and some of them, if they miss, aren't a big deal. We can keep going. But other ones, if we miss, it's over. These are the ones that it doesn't matter. Did I just crit that? I messed up. I should have X special. And if I wouldn't have crit that, that Machoke wouldn't have died. So shoutouts to optimal strats.
Saving time unintentionally.
Actually, that was really good, because now I don't have to heal before the next fight.
Cool.
Yeah, normally, like, if the Machoke would have hit me, I would have had to heal. It would have been, like, annoying, but whatever. We're really lucky. So, our bag now has a slot open because we used our final rare candy. So we're going to pick up the revive, and we're going to head out and head back in. The funny thing is using that spin dial, even though it looks really slow, is actually faster, just because it's such a short distance. So this is Giovanni. I have 18% chance to die, more probably because I'm slightly not max HP, and there's nothing I can do about it. So the way that this game works with criticals are your Pokemon's speed actually benefits your critical hit chance. So the faster your Pokemon, the base speed of your Pokemon. So like your speed stat doesn't matter, just like the type of Pokemon you have matters. That's going to really change things.
That makes some Pokemon just crazy.
Okay, so I need to... So he dug, so I can die here if he criticals, which is why he was saved. It's not the end of the world if I die. Awesome, so this is a free fight then.
Good.
So that's really good for us. We're going to be super potioning before the next fight just to be super safe. There's a strat I could do that's like almost good. But if you watch my last run at Midwest Speedfest, the next fight, which is 100% free, like you can't mess up, I died and had to beat the final Rivals Pokemon with a Pidgey that was level 4, and it worked! I have no idea how.
I need to go back and watch that.
Oh, it was great. Oh god, that was something. And my Pidgey went from like level 6. No, it was level 6 if I remember right. It went from level 6 to like level 10 or something.
That must have wasted so much time.
It was so much time. Because I didn't pick up the revive like I did this time. I did the slightly safer route. But in that route, you don't get a revive. So I had to just kind of sit there and deal with it.
Oh no.
But right now, we're actually doing pretty good for a marathon run. We haven't died, or Nuzlocke's alive. I'm amazed,
Let's
actually.
go.
And
Let's see, we're almost 150 in, so this is episode, like, 7-ish?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Episode 70, like, our dead box is still empty. It's amazing. This is the best Nuzlocke I've ever had. Minute 50, let's see. I think I can hit right under estimate. I think I can do it.
I believe.
Even with a death. That's what I'm calculating. If we don't get a death, it's going to happen.
Okay.
But if I get a death, I think it's going to be right under estimate. Anyway, so this is the fight I died in. On my last run at a Midwest Speedfest marathon, I forgot I was on Vaporeon strats. Oh, guess what I didn't do? I didn't heal. Yes! Okay, strat worked. We're fine. It's fine.
Mankey yes.
So, Mankey yes, man. So, the reason why that kind of mattered is I normally... whoops, I don't want to die. Okay. Normally, we use the X accuracy on the first turn, which makes Blizzard hit, so the 10% to miss doesn't happen. Well, if you're going for a PB, That's what you do. You just blizzard the first turn. You hope you don't you hope you don't miss, and if you do miss, the run's over. But what that allows you to do is set up on the execute. And execute, yeah, I think is very likely to use Solar Beam, which doesn't matter. And the worst thing he can do is Stun Spore, and then if he Stun Spore, you just have to full restore, and it's really bad. But, like, it's a pretty safe strat as long as you don't miss Blizzard. So I didn't die. We don't have to see Pidgey beat up a Vaporeon this time, so I'm pretty happy with this. And now we're on Victory Road. So this run is really interesting because, like I said, Giovanni we had 18% chance to die, and what was it? Blaine was like we have 20% chance to miss, and then you have a pretty good chance to die, which is about like I think 14% chance to die to Blaine.
Okay.
And then we're gonna be coming up to some E4, specifically Lance and Final Rival, that just also have a % chance to kill us. So I'll talk about them more when they come up, but we're not through the hardest part. There's a lot of times that I say there's nothing I can do. That's because even if I heal, sometimes you just can't do anything about it. So Giovanni's a really good point of that. So if I got a lot of damage from like Earthquake from the first term of the Doug Trio, what I could do is you would think I could just heal. He has the Persian out, right? Well, Persian is probably going to use Slash as a damaging move. Slash Crit will actually put you back at the same HP range. It's going to do about 100 HP. So it's like you don't heal. We call them heal loops. Competitive Pokemon, not competitive Pokemon, like Nuzlocke, sorry, kind of like know what a heal loop is. It's that when you're trying to heal a Pokemon and you just can't because you're taking too much damage, you're just going to infinitely be looped in this HP heal.
I'm sure most of you casual players have probably experienced that at some point.
Oh, definitely. So we don't want to get ourselves stuck in one, so we just kind of have to deal with it. And if he winds up killing us with the Slash Crit, which is pretty likely, it really stings. So, this is the one use of strength in the entire run. We're just going to be doing Boulder Puzzle, and I just want to, since this is kind of a slow moment, just thank everyone who's tuning into the stream. Pokemon speedrunning's long. RPG speedrunning's super long. And I'm going to be honest, if you look at a lot of marathons, there's not many RPGs out there. Because they just take a lot of time. And it's just amazing to me that Midwest Speedfest twice in a row allowed me to run Pokemon.
Honestly,
so,
we
thank
think
you.
you're really good.
Awesome, thank you. I really appreciate that. So the fact that I'm able to run this game twice in a row, especially when it's so long, means a lot to me. So thank you to everyone tuning in, supporting it, and to the staff for letting me run this again. Because I absolutely love this game. It's a really fun game. It's pretty long. Do I have an extra Super Repel? What did I do? I don't understand what I did, but whatever. It obviously worked out fine.
I'm trying to make a joke out of that, and I just like can't come up with anything.
I think
What?
I think I forgot to repel outside of Geo's gym, but somehow I didn't get an encounter. I don't know. Whatever. We're fine. We're gonna. Oh wait. I think I have to double repel, otherwise I'm gonna mess myself up. So normally I run out of repels, and then those X accuracies I keep using are one slot higher. So for someone who's run this game a lot, let's say I don't waste the repels, what's gonna happen is I'm going to accidentally try to repel in a fight. So I have to kind of double repel because of muscle memory.
Yeah, it's a safe strat.
Yeah. And at this point, I said there's another point we can get another random encounter. Whoops. Another random encounter. There's Onyxes in this area and that are level 49. We're level 48. So there's nothing we can kind of do about it. They're a low chance to happen, so we made it through without them.
Good.
There is another chance to get them again, but I've actually never seen someone get it in that area. So I don't believe they exist over there. But I could be wrong. Oh! There's a really cool kind of glitch. You guys want to see it? I'm gonna try.
I think I know what it is.
It's kind of hard. Swag boulder.
Yeah!
So if you turn on the exact frame that you're moving it over, I can only get one. I can't do it on the last one, sadly. It's pretty hard to do. It's like almost frame perfect, but if you turn at the right time, you're able to kind of push the particle effect upwards. It's just kind of fun. Alright, so this epic music is leading us to this grand conclusion. So, we're going in the E4, and obviously, we're going to keep our Nidoking, but every other Pokemon is just, we don't really need them, and they have a cutscene at the very end. So we're going to deposit all of them, and we're going to center one time before we head in.
You guys think we can win the Nuzlocke?
Oh,
I think so.
I hope so. A Deathless run would be really good. Because Yellow, it has a really high chance of dying.
Yeah. When you add up all those chances, it just,
Yeah, for a little bit, Yellow was much more likely to die. I don't know why I tried to hold there. I knew it wouldn't work, but I still tried. Yellow was riskier than Red, so Red had the better chance of completing. But Red had a bunch of different strats that have kind of changed it recently that have made it much more risky, but also a much lower time. So Red's much more unlikely to finish than Yellow now. But Yellow's still really high chances to die going forward. They're all less than like 20%, but there's going to be 2 back-to-back.
they add up, though.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
definitely
issue.
do. So I'm going to use X accuracy here, and Aurora Beam is the worst thing that we can see here.
Yeah.
And we can die to a critical, but that's totally fine.
Nice.
So now it's a free fight. We just get to horn drill everything.
Nice HP.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna horn drill the rest of these Pokemon. At this point here, there's gonna be a Pokemon here that everyone absolutely hates in Gen 1. So everyone listen to the next Pokemon cry and just like see how long it takes, okay? So this is Jinx. Thank you. It's just such a long cry. It's just, oh man, Jinx's cry can go on for years. And here's Lapras. Sorry, Lapras. I'm sorry, Helix. Are you mad at me?
I'm just sad.
It's okay.
What?
It's okay.
What must be done must be done.
I'll finish the
We have to win the Nuzlocke.
Yeah,
it
Nuzlocke
must
is
be
most
done.
important.
It's okay.
Okay, so right now, we're going to do 2 things. I am going to Elixir to get my PP back, and we're gonna use one of our 9 full restores. I played this super safe.
Yeah.
I probably didn't need to, and we don't need to save for Bruno, actually. There's no way I can die as long as I'm playing safe. And if you've been watching the run, I've been playing it very safe.
I mean, considering what happened last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, I have a $25 donation from the original Xbox. He's back again, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh,
And he
original
says,
Xbox.
had to donate for one of my favorite games, an awesome runner. Oh,
Aw,
and another
thanks, man.
donation came in as I was reading that one. So, Juanli Ways, I think I got that right,
Wanley!
says, much love from the Mankey S gang. YOLO drill! YOLO drill!
We're not YOLO drilling, stop it! So, YOLO drilling is a strat you can do if things have gone terribly wrong and you need to save time. But anyways, thank you to both of you. Wanley is the runner I mentioned before, the one that we named Mankey S after. He's an amazing runner. He's a really good friend of mine. I would definitely recommend checking him out. He's got number 4th in Pokemon Yellow, and he started the same time I did. He's an amazing runner, runs 5 Pokemon games, and has top times in almost all of them.
Oh my.
He's a really good runner. He's probably mad that I'm talking him up this much, but I've had so much fun in his streams, and he's an amazing runner.
I didn't even have time to get top times in all of those games.
He's good. He's good. And by top time, I mean like top 10 or near top 10.
Yeah.
He's really good. And for like some comparison, if you want to like know the most competitive Pokemon game, it's Pokemon Red. Pokemon Red has a lot of submitted runs. But whoops, I talked to him twice, but he's really short. Pokemon Yellow has, I think, about 74 runs. Maybe I'm way overshooting that, but it has a decent amount, but nowhere near Pokemon Red. Gen 1 Pokemon is just really popular, and every other gen also has a pretty lively community. And one of the best parts about PSR is we're kind of one central community. So I know runners of all the games. It's just kind of how it's all been. So we don't really have just like a Pokemon Yellow community. It's just one gigantic community, and it's really cool. So I'm going to use an X special on this Gengar. I didn't forget. I'm doing a different strat, and we got unlucky. All right. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Yes, one turn. We have to go through 5 turns of this or snap out. This is gonna be really, really bad. Manky yes, man. All right, let's go. Yes.
Cool.
2 in a row. All right. Sadly, this would have been the best one to hit myself on. So now we're getting into the category that hitting myself is really bad. That's bad. Don't do it. Alright, that's good. Alright. Don't do it.
Come on.
Okay, don't do it. Don't paralyze me. Oh! Okay. Alright. It's fine. We got this.
Safety strats.
So I want to mention a glitch, because it's really funny to me, and it kind of affected, runner Marchify. He was doing a funny run of, Mankey %, where you only use Mankey. And he made it to the very end, and he couldn't kill the final Pokemon, even though he was doing the strats. And it also happened here. If you use a full restore, your badge boosters will go away. Same thing with full heals. So I am now slower than these Pokemon, but we're good. So he was trying to full heal, and then I had to explain that to him, that goes away. And full heals will only remove your stat boost if you're paralyzed or something like that. For some reason, full restores will keep them if you're asleep.
This game
it's
is
really
so silly.
technical, but it's just complicated.
This game is so silly.
So here's Lance. Here's a really high chance to die. We're 2 fights from the end. I really want a Deathless run. This would be amazing if we could do that. Oh, whoops. 1 second here. I normally don't have this item, but I tried to save an extra elixir. I can do some... There's a very low chance that if a blizzard would miss, I could save the run without dying as long as I kept that elixir. So I'm basically playing the smallest percentages. I want this Deathless run so badly. So let's just hope, man. This is really... So this fight is really cool, actually.
Everyone, give me your energy.
Blaze, man. So, Lance, he leads off with Gyarados. This Gyarados, I'll die to a crit. It's 18%, alright? But it's only 30% chance to hit. So it's more likely to miss than crit. So don't crit me. Come on, we got this. Yes! Alright.
Okay.
I almost used the wrong move. We're good. From this point on, I still have a 10% chance to die, but I can play something super safe here. We normally don't do this. We normally don't have time to heal here, but I have so many full restores. We're near the end. It's safer to heal, so I'm just going to heal, and now I need to X attack. And why I healed is, from my HP before, a critical would kill me, and I needed to use that X attack. So healing up gives me a chance where I'm not going to die to a critical.
Right.
So we're avoiding that small % chance to die, and now the last Pokemon is the one we're going to use Blizzard on. And like I said, 10% it's a Dragonite. If I miss, he will more likely than not use Blizzard. Blizzard also can miss for him. and I've seen it in a run by Huanli where both blizzards has missed, and he happened to finish and get a PB.
Oh.
So if it happens, let this be the day. All right, we killed it, so we're good. So there's one more fight.
Okay, we got this.
Equally as scary though. So the next Pokemon is the Sandslash. It can Earthquake crit me, and I can Blizzard miss. But if those don't happen, we finish this run deathless. We're so close. Mankey, yes, we're coming for you. All right. So I am going to use a full restore. We need to be max health, 169 HP for the win, and we're going to save. So, one funny thing about this game is, you know how I turned off animations?
Yep.
Congrats, they're back on!
Oh.
So if you like Gen 1
Free.
animations, they turned them on for the final rival fight to be climactic? I don't know.
Because they hate speedrunners.
Exactly. It's really funny because if you watched like the splits, like each E4 fight is like a minute and a half each, and this final one's like 3.5 minutes because of animations. So I'm going to X special. And this is our chance to die. If it crits us, I think it's 16 or 18%. Don't do it. Yes! Okay. 10% chance to die. Yes!
Yes!
Woo! Newcastle is gonna finish the first Nuzlocke of Midwest Speedfest.
And as we're finishing this out, we have $15 from the original Xbox who says 400 hype, referencing the fact that we now have raised $400 for save.
Woo! That's awesome. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do here is I need to use my X accuracy and Hypnosis hit, which kind of stinks. If we were in Red Bar, I didn't even talk about Red Bar, surprisingly, but if we're in this thing called Red Bar, jingles don't play.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that, so I have to just keep full restoring until he doesn't Hypnosis me.
I'm a little surprised Red Bar never came into play.
Yeah, Red Bar almost never mattered in this run. It's way more important for Pokemon Red,
Yeah, I
but it
figured.
still matters in Pokemon Yellow. So, without further ado, do you want to do the honors? Just mash A for me.
Sure.
If he kills this
I
Nuzlocke!
won't do it. I won't do it.
This is officially a co-op world record, everybody. One more, can you do it?
One more. It's gonna happen, guys.
Awesome. Sweet. And level up for the win. Alright. So, this is an awesome run. The fact that it was deathless really surprised me. Nuzlocks are great. Cool. I haven't had a deathless run in this game for 3 months, actually.
Oh.
I've had 5 PBs die in late game, which is Blaine onward, and this run finishes. Great. I'm happy, man. This is awesome. So I want to shout out the Midwest Speedfest again. Thank you again for having such a long but awesome run, in my opinion, at this event.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then shout outs to the PSR community. So I say PSR, but it's Pokemon Speedrunning. It's an amazing community. We have a lot of resources to anyone who wants to try running this. Like I said, it's one whole community. It doesn't matter what game you're running, we're a community. And just thank you to everyone who's been supporting me, especially the donations. So many people from my chat and just the community have come out. So I can't tell you how happy this makes me. 204 in game with long names is actually not terrible. Sub 205 is amazing for this. So thank you guys. What was the time? What's the final time?
2:10:11.
Oh, 11 seconds over, but really close.
You basically hit estimate.
Yeah, that
Stopped
was
the timer a little bit late.
Yeah. Woo!
That was amazing. That was something.
Thank you. So I think thank you guys and have a great rest of your guys' day. Please stick around for the rest of the
We have a lot
marathon.
of people in here just like chilling, watching stuff. Thank you guys all for coming
Thank
and hanging
you.
out. Like, and stay tuned, you know, more speedruns, more stuff.
More speedruns, a lot of fastness, great commentaries.
I
to
noticed
come.
all the people in here. I'm like, there are a lot of people in here. Alright. Alright. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great run.
Do you want me to stop the game now or like keep going? Okay, cool. Wonderful.
And, is my voice still live?
All right. Next up, we have the Oblivionator playing One Dog Story. So coming right up for that,